Welcome back to another episode of Miss and Mrs. Brightly. I'm Victoria and I'm here with my lovely mom.
Hi everyone, I'm Heike and welcome back. It's amazing that you come and please don't forget to subscribe.
So today we said we would talk about networking tips, how to be when you go out to network, to meet new people, just also like life tips in a way. Because I've recently started coming to networking groups. You have been an avid networker for many, many, many years.
Yes.
And you have so many connections. And the best example of networking is today. When we walked into the podcast studio and I heard my mom down the hallway speaking. And I was like, who is she speaking to? And I came in here and there's like 5 people. And I'm like, what's happening? She's like, you know him. Do you know him? And I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about. So who did you meet today?
Sandeep.
Sandeep? Sandeep?
Sandeep?
Sandeep. Sandeep is a content creator. And he has quite a lot of followers on Instagram and I'm sure also TikTok.
And we saw him at the 1 billion summit.
Yeah. And it's just so funny because she was like, look who I met. And then we had a whole conversation. We made a video.
I know.
We followed each other. And I was like, and she was talking about, I'm going to send you my collagen. You're going to get my collagen. You give me a call and you're getting my collagen. And I was like, what is happening? But this is the power of being as bright as you are, which is why your nickname is Mrs. Brightly.
I know.
Because you're a sunshine. When you walk into the room, you're so bright. You give off this energy that you're easy to talk to, that you're approachable, that you're fun. So that just made me think of talking about networking in general.
Yeah, but it is true. Networking is like your network is your net worth. So it's so important who you know. And I feel, especially here in this region, it's so important to build relationship and know people. And as more you're out, as more you know about it. Because if you look at yourself, you were never really fond of networking.
No.
Often I ask you want to come? And you're like, no, I don't know these people. And I understand, obviously you were much younger. And then you don't, and most of the people which are going into networking actually older. And so you were not very, very positive about it. But then I think since this year, you have been you changed. So why did it change? So what did make you change?
I don't know. I think the first time you asked me to go to BNI was still when I was in high school. Because we were still living in Bashur. And you were going every morning, right? So that's when you were asking me. And for me, I was just like, I don't want to wake up, because it's a 7 a.m. networking thing. I don't want to wake up at 6 to be there at 7. And then also, I didn't feel like I had anything to talk about, because we didn't have Brightly Labs then.
No.
I was only going to school. So I didn't feel like there is really anything for me to talk about. And I was like 17. I didn't want to go and meet with like 30-year-olds and talk about stuff that like actually in that moment didn't really interest me. And then I left, and then I came back.
And you have grown so much.
No, and then I came back when we were in Sofitel. But then also I didn't want to go.
No.
Because I was in uni. And I was like, I don't have anything to network about, to talk about or anything. And then when I came back in January, that's the first time I went.
Yeah.
In January. And since then, I'm going every single week.
Exactly. But I think what I feel, you're so confident. For me, sometimes even now, I'm if I have a one-to-one conversation with people, I feel very confident. But when it comes to like standing up and speaking in front of a crowd of people, because in these meetings, we have like between 50 people to 100 people in the room, and then you have to stand up and you have to do your elevator pitch. And when I look at you're so amazing, I think, no, honestly, seriously, because I think you're just not so hesitant. So what does the trick for you?
I mean, I think like for the first time when I went to BNI, it's like, as a visitor, you can talk for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is actually a quite quick time, but also not a quick time. And I just said to myself, I'm never going to see these people again. Never in my life will I see these people again. I can stumble over my words, I can go completely blank, and no one will care. Like, honestly, You're never going to see me again. I'm going to go on with my life and it's going to be fine. And then the next networking I went to, it was Subco. Subco is like 90 seconds you can talk about your business.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, like that's worse because what do you do for 90 seconds?
And it's pretty long,
It's
you know?
really long. 90 seconds is a long time. But then again, I was like, I'm never going to see these people again. So I'm just going to talk. And at that time, we already had Brightly Labs. So I talked about Brightly Labs.
Yeah.
And also, I had something that I like really believed in. Because Brightly Labs, it's our baby. You know, silk and matcha is my thing for Brightly Labs. The reason why we make any products is because we believe in it and we see that it makes a difference and that we see there's a gap in the market for it, so it's needed. We don't make products that there's already a best and we think that is really the best. We're not just going to copy it. So we make our own. Like our silk is better quality than what's on the market and it's less expensive than what's on the market. Our matcha, also way less expensive than what's on the market and same or better quality as what's on the market. So that made it easier to then stand up for 90 seconds and talk about it. But I still go to BNI every single week. So that I'm never going to see them again didn't happen. I see them every week. But still, every week I tell myself, I'm never going to see these people again. Who cares what I say? Who cares if I mess up? Who cares if I stumble? And I just do it.
But do you think also because you have now built a relationship?
Yeah, that also. But you still have visitors. Like sometimes you have like 10 visitors who come. And I'm also like, oh my God, like there's so many visitors, it'll be embarrassing. But then again, I'm like, especially the visitors, I'm never going to see again.
I think also for me, you know, I have to be honest, I'm now in like really out and about, I would say probably the last 3 years, like really active. Because obviously since I'm self-employed, I have to be out and I have to talk about the different businesses I do because I'm not just doing Brightly Labs, but also my consultancy and the energy efficiency. So I have different businesses. And then I feel I have really grown up as well. And it sounds really funny because I'm 55, you know. But honestly, I like feel it helped me to be a little bit more confident in public speaking because every week I have to speak, you know. And I also, because you have these different networks, you know, it's a little bit like you. I think because I sub often, you know, I go to other chapters of BNI and be a substitute, and then you get the text, and then you have to speak in front of so many people, and that really has grown my confidence. So I feel if you do networking, because
also the sub part of BNI. So I go to BNI every week, but I'm not a member. My mom is a member. I go every week because there's always someone who needs a sub and because they know me and we're also like, we've become a friendship circle rather than just a networking circle. People trust me with representing their business. My point is that when you're a sub, you usually get the 45 seconds on like the phone and you just read it. And that helps with the public speaking as well because you're standing there and you're reading and you can't mess up too much with reading unless you just stumble over your words a little bit. And you won't go blank because you have exactly what you want in front of you. And that then helps you with just the act of speaking. So sometimes people come with their own business and talk about their own business and they even have a little script. And then sometimes people are like, yeah, but you should know your own business. But like we think like, no, maybe this person isn't used to speaking publicly. Maybe they just, you know, need to get used to it. Then it's completely fine to have about your own business, 45 seconds written on your phone and read it. Yeah. Because otherwise you might freeze up and then no one will know about your business.
Yeah. But I feel also for you, if I see you now in Rotary, now you're the secretary, a founding member of the Rotary Eco Club Dubai, and you are the secretary. So it's already like a management, a leading role in a Rotary Club. And how you handle the meetings, I'm like stumbled. So what gives you the confidence? You have like grown, because you're 21.
Yeah.
And in this room you have 20 people, they're all like 40 and above, I would guess, right? They're all like 40, 38, 40. Yeah. And you handle them so well, so disciplined. Where does it come from?
I don't know. I think I've always been a team leader, even in school. Any project, I was team leader. for football, I joined the first year. I was team captain after that for the rest of the years in high school. So I'm always very much like team leader, taking charge. And also like for our eco club, I know everyone. The people aren't some random people who are like, oh, I want to join. We try to carefully select people who want to make an impact on sustainability in the UAE and globally, who have that eco vision, who will really work hard. And those people come from our circle because that's the people we know the best.
Yeah.
And then like for example, Suraj. Like, I'm not shy to be like, be quiet and listen to me because I'm talking, you know? Because I know him and he's like, and we talk like this and we joke, you know, and he knows that I don't mean it in a rude way. But I mean it like, this is keeping order, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but nevertheless, you know, you're 21 and you keep the team in order. So, you know, do you think...
also you.
No, but it's not about me. But do you think it's also because you prefer to lead than be led?
That also. But also, like, for example, what I mean is, like, you... From what age was I going to store visits with you, in like job shadowing you when I was like 12? Like, that wasn't even an official thing. I was just like, oh, she's job shadowing me. I was in like important meetings and I always saw you be a leader, and I saw you in store visits having more softer and more emotional conversations with people. But then also when they did something wrong, you were business and you were hard. You were like, no. You still have to do your job right, and like you still have to keep order. So from that I also learned it, you know. I mean, I picked up so many things from like store visits. Like I walk through the stores now and I just put my fingers through the hangers just because it's such a habit, because like that's...
I know.
Like or I look and I'm like, that's not steamed.
No, exactly.
You know, so it's, you pick it up, and because I was so small doing it with you, I did pick it up. But also I'm a very strong character, and I'm a Scorpio, and I do not like to be told what to do.
Yeah,
in general, it's sometimes a very big flaw as well.
Yeah,
but
coming back to the networking, so what do you think? Would you say it's worthwhile to network, or what do you think about it in general?
I think it's good. I think it's important that you know what you're going for. So don't just go and be like, oh, I'm just here because I had nothing better to do. Like, go because you're trying to start a business, or you have an idea, or you want to meet people because you want to make connections and be able to share your network with each other. Like, especially when you're starting a brand, or any kind of company, networking is great because you meet so many people whose network becomes your network as well. So even for our registration for selling our collagen on Amazon.
Yes.
Like, and you've been in this network for so many years, but still it just showed up because you did another shout out. You said, guys, I need this. And then James Barry had a person who he referred to you and said, this is the guy. Exactly. And then within 24 hours, it was done. And we had a registration that you were fighting for 6 months. 6 months. So that's what networking is very, very powerful for.
Very powerful. I agree.
Collagen, I mean, almost everyone from your network buys your collagen, buys our products, because when you network, I'm like thinking of the BNI. Building relationships. Because building trust. Yeah, because you build relationships with people, which builds trust with these people. Which then makes them believe in your product, try your product, see the effect of your product, and then refer your product. Exactly. That's like on a brand-based perspective, but also Tolga, for example. Tolga is also BNI. I remember he did our website. We get so many compliments on our website. We say, this doesn't look like a startup business. This looks like a professional brand, like someone like you pay a lot of money for it. And then also, because he did such a great job, we refer him. Anyone who needs a website, or anyone who even just comments on our website, you're like, this is Tolga from Tyron Graphics. He did it. So you just have to be there, be present, put the time in to make the relationships.
I think I would add one factor to networking, maybe which is not so present for you, but for me, because like I think on LinkedIn I have around about 14,000 followers, you know, and often, like every single day, I get requests for meetings.
On LinkedIn.
Network on LinkedIn, exactly. And I said, oh, this is what I do. Would you have time for 15 minutes for a call? Or I'm in Dubai. Can we meet for like half an hour? And what I don't do anymore is networking with no purpose. So I'm quite strict that I email back or answer on their messages. And I said, what is the purpose for you to want to meet me? Because often it's really a waste of time, and you don't want to waste your time. Because if I don't know, they say, oh, we have like an app developer and whatever. I don't need an app. And it's just like, these cold calls on LinkedIn are really sometimes, tiring and time wasters.
But you've become better in filtering out.
Yeah.
Because you used to also go to a lot of, like, your circles,
other
events,
networks, yeah.
But more like events which were disguised as like, oh, this is networking, but actually it's like a social event to bring people to whatever, to show off. And that just always took so much time because most of them were like evening things, fancy things. So you would have to get ready, or like I went a lot of times with you, you get ready, you'd go there, then your whole evening is gone, and it's not even a nice event. You're not actually meeting anyone. You're not even meeting people who are interesting as people.
Yes.
Like not in a networking, like you're not having
a good
nice
conversation. Yeah.
Like it's not intellectual. And then, so that was like a few months where we went to, or you especially went to so many.
And then we
now
stopped,
you've cut down on it a lot. You only go to what you think will give you a purpose. Even if you can help someone, you'll still do it.
Yes.
Even if it won't give you a lot of benefit, you will still do it because a purpose will come out of it.
Exactly.
Like something will come out of it.
I very much believe that. I think you meet people for a reason. And I'm very open for that, and you never know when you need these people. And that has really paid off in my life, that I was very open-minded in general, but then you're right, I've become more selective because obviously I also have been screwed over many times, and especially, in this region, I have to say, you have a lot of people, they come and it's so easy to make money, but actually it's not easy. Yeah. And you have to be selective who you also recommend, because often, it's not working out the way you hope to. So no, I'm very grateful. And I think
you learned to say no more.
Yeah.
That was something you were struggling with a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was very good at it. I was like, no, if I don't want to go, if I'm not in the mood, no. And then I kind of helped you.
Yeah, exactly.
Say no when you don't want to go. Yeah. You don't have to. You don't owe anyone anything at all.
This is why I always say you're the better version of me. No, and if you look at the networks, I think for me, all the networks have different purpose. If you see, for example,
Sorry, and then you can continue your point. It's also those kind of networks. Going to like evening events, you don't meet serious people.
Yeah.
People who show up to BNI every single week.
It's a commitment.
People who go to Subco every other week.
Yeah.
Are people who are committed, who are taking it serious, who want to network, who want to givers gain, who want to give to gain, who want to just give to give.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just...
No, I agree. They all have different purpose, but I feel they're all complementary to each other. So if I see BNI is really focused on, like you said, it's focused on business. People are committed because they have to be there by 6:30. Meeting starts sharp at 7, and it's about givers gain. You measured on how you can help others to grow their business, and it's fantastic because you have like 40 people in the room. They all do the same. So also for yourself, Then I have also...
And you're held accountable at
Absolutely.
Which pushes you.
But then we have also female fusion. And I love female fusion, because it's for women only, all entrepreneurs, And it's like Jen is amazing. She's so inspiring, She runs the business herself, and it's all about giving too. But for me, it's more about educating. So I learn a lot from her. She has so many courses. She does, mastermind classes and so on forth, which is amazing. And then we have Subco, South African Business Council, which is again different. I think it's very open-minded, very diverse, not so strict like BNI, but also focused around business. And then we have Rotary.
But Rotary is very different. Rotary, I don't see it as a network in like a business perspective. I see it in a coincidental business perspective network.
But it's also a network because
It's network for people, but
like-minded people
go Rotaries, you shouldn't join Rotary because you want to make business and you want to meet important people and you think that will give you good connections. You join Rotary to make a difference, to have a purpose, to do service activities, service projects. For our club, we're the first cause-based club in UAE. So we actually have the cause, which is eco, so sustainability, all of that.
Environment.
And it's also quite a social club, you know, to meet people, to do things, to have a circle of like-minded people.
Yeah.
But then still through that, because you become close with people and you see the personal side of people, you also, again, start to trust them. And you start to then... What do you do for business? Oh, like, okay, I need a marketing guy or collagen. Yeah, sounds good. I've been having like pain or something. And like this, you then still get the network, but you're not going for, like, you still get the business, but you're not going for business.
Yeah, but it's still, I count it as network because you meet network with like-minded people. We all have the same purpose. If you see, for example, Lorraine, or even if you see Yolanda, you know that people, they really want to do good. They want to give back. Even they're all business people, you know, but they want to do something with a greater purpose. And us the same, you know, being part of Rotary has an influence of our main business because we want to look into sustainability, because we are leading the club. We even more look into, is our packaging sustainable? You know, we don't want to, like, we reduce our carbon footprint and, you know, there's so many points. And so this is, I think it's still a part, a really important part. It has become a very important part for me personally. Because of the network, you know, because you see these people, because you're reminded on the purpose and cause we have, you know, it has an impact on my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You don't see it this way?
I don't see it as a network. I see it as like a social thing. I see it as like where you can, like I said, like doing things like service projects, like our eco, like going on a farm visit, like it's a social activity, but you're still going to an organic farm, you're learning about it, you're going with friends and families. So it's like a social thing where you know you're with interesting people, you know you're with intellectual people who can hold a conversation, and you know that you're with people who have the same values and beliefs and things like that. So I don't really see it as a network. I see it as a network when I sit in the Rotary office, because I also work for Rotary. That's when I see it as a network, because it's a global network of
1.2 million.
Yeah, 1.4 million, I think.
Wow.
People all around the world. Like, it's not just in the UAE, it's all around the world. So then it is a network. But for me, when I go, it's okay. Like, you can see it as a network and I can see it as my social time. Because I've become very antisocial in a way. I don't really go out too much anymore. So then when I do go for Rotary, it's like my social thing.
So let me ask another question. So now you're 21. So which network you like the best, and where do you learn the most? Because you learn, right?
Yeah, I learn. To be very honest, I think I like the best BNI, just because of like the way it is and the people. So BNI, like, we come in the morning. There's a lot of people like I joke with, like a lot of people who like more act my age, you know, and it's more like funny, and you know how it is for me when I go.
Yes.
And it's not like as serious for me just because I'm not a member, so I don't have to have like my referrals ready and my whatever ready, and I don't have to in a way impress as much. Obviously, I still know like this is business, and I still talk about the business, and I still try to impress, but there's not like the pressure.
Yeah.
And then also, like, you have the breakfast after, which is really nice. So for me, I think because I feel so, like, fun and social there, it's more for me. Yeah. But I wouldn't join at 21.
Except you have, like, your own own business.
Yeah, and unless I have, like, my own thing, and I'm really trying to... But you're there for Brighty Labs. So I'm like, there's no point for me to also join.
Yes.
And anyways, when I go, I talk about Rotary, I talk about Brighty Labs, I talk about different things every now and again. Sometimes I don't talk when I'm not in the mood. So BNI I really like for that reason. Sapco I haven't been going to recently.
This week is Sapco.
I know, but it runs quite late.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who come for Sapko, and because you have the 90 seconds,
It takes time.
it takes time. Like sometimes we finish only by 11:30, and
then it's too late for
then
you.
it's too late for me. But
Yeah, but it's okay. So you mean it's also
Sapko is also fun people. Okay.
But do you also feel from a learning perspective? You learn the most?
BNI also. You learn the most. And then sometimes I have great conversations after breakfast. Like sometimes I'll sit with the people who I'm very close to because they just want to have also just like a breakfast, which is fun. And then sometimes we'll have a visitor on the table, and then you have very interesting, great conversation with them, and you learn a lot from what they do. So yeah, BNI.
So if you would have to give like a recommendation to young people like yourself about networking, what would be the recommendation to them to make the best out of networking?
Don't go to the evening events, which are like
just fun,
just
drinking.
fun or drinking, or like the fancy events where you think you're going to meet people you're not. Or maybe you meet one person out of like how many events you went to. I would say go to BNI as a substitute. So as a sub you will, or like as a visitor.
Yeah.
If your category of what you do doesn't clash with someone who's already a member in BNI, you can talk about it for 30 seconds. And I think go a few times, not just once. But I also think, for example, Saloni, she talks about how she wasn't taken too serious in her chapter.
Yes.
And in her chapter, she wasn't taken too serious because of the way she dressed.
So Saloni was one of our past guests, which we had, and she's 21 and she's a very talented designer. She has her own fashion line, and she dresses people from BNI. Not only, but also many men from BNI are under her guidance how to dress better.
Yeah. So she started saying that once she started dressing better, she was taken more serious, but still people saw her like as the child. Our chapter is not like that at all. So Falcons is the one that my mom is a part of and I always go to. And everyone comes how they want to come. Like Tolga comes in jeans and like cool jackets because he's a designer, graphic designer. Like if he wasn't a suit, I'd be like, okay, like weird.
It doesn't fit to him.
It doesn't fit to him.
agree.
And like everyone just comes however you want to like dress. Sometimes I come in a dress. Sometimes I come how I am today. I come however I want, and no one takes you like no one thinks any differently of you because of how you're dressed. So go to BNI. Sapko also go to. It's very fun. People are great.
Also business minded.
I think go with a purpose of going. Even if your purpose is I want to meet people. So I always tell my mom, if you're the smartest person in a room, find a new room.
Yeah.
I don't know who said this. It's not me. I've got it somewhere. Someone said this, okay?
Yeah.
And you've taken it up. You've taken this advice. And you live it now.
Yes.
Because you're not going to learn from it. So if you are young, you don't have anything, you don't have a business ready or anything, but you have the passion, go network. And learn from the people. Just go and say, I wanted to find out what you do, how you do it, how interesting you are, and just go. If you have a business, if you have an idea, also go. Yeah. Because then you will have connections with people who can help you register your products, who can help you with a website. Honestly, just go to my mom. Now she has everyone who can do that.
Exactly.
But that's the point. Like, and then if you go, you'll meet people like my mom, like you, who have already a really wide network. Yeah. And then you also, if a 21-year-old girl came to you and said, this is my idea.
I would definitely help.
This person. You'd be like, take it. Here
exactly.
It is. I will connect you. I will even go for a meeting with you. I will introduce you.
Yeah, it's true.
But also important, don't take it for granted. Because that's happened to you. You introduce people, you go through the effort of setting up a meeting, for even going to the meeting, and then there's no follow-up from the person. They haven't taken it. Yeah. Like the opportunity, and we're always like, you're so crazy. Like, this is such a good opportunity. Like, why aren't you taking it? Or even if you don't want it, at least say, thank you so much for the meeting, but
no, thank you.
No, thank you. So that's also important, because then you've lost your respect, you've lost your trust to the person, and you've lost your trust to that person's network. Because if you then show up again, the word's going to be, I set up a meeting for her and she didn't want it.
But I even in that regards, I have become much stricter. If you waste my time once, There's no second time.
Yeah.
And so therefore, yeah, no, I agree. For me, the same. Don't waste your time. Ask for the purpose before you go to the meeting. I think that's still a problem, which many people do. They don't ask for purpose. They just go, and then and then it's a waste of time. And we don't. Yeah, like it's better you stay at home and study and do a course or anything and to develop yourself.
So quick recap.
Okay.
What do they have to focus on if you go to network?
A purpose. They have to focus on a purpose. They have to be honest. They have to build relationship, and not to forget, if you are the smartest person in the room, look for a new room.
And also, just think I'm never going to see these people again.
Exactly, for speaking.
Even if you will, just
think it, and then
I'm never going to see these people again, and you're going to be fine. And if you have to, write it down and read from it. No one's going to judge you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that was fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If anyone have questions, more tips you want on literally anything, even on being a mom,
leave a comment below.
Leave a comment. We will answer them. We will
maybe find
this.
maybe we find some good topics. So if there's any other topics you would like to hear or to learn, we are here to answer them.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and follow, and all of the above.
And share.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you then.